Good evening, good afternoon, good night, no matter where you are in the world. If you're a trader, Crypto Banter is the show and the station for you. We bring you live trading information from around the globe, helping you make better trading decisions. And tonight we look at the Bitcoin price movement. After 2 weeks of sideways movement, Bitcoin finally made the move, breaking through the support and down under $18,000. Is this the end of the correction, or is there more to come? We're going to look at the charts and ask whether this is a healthy correction in a bull market or whether we're entering bear market territory. Then Wall Street takes off the gloves and Citibank downgrades MicroStrategy, citing its Bitcoin exposure as too risky. Now, ironically, this is the same Citibank that called Bitcoin to $300,000 by the end of 2021. Confusion much, one says? We also look at how the big names are trading this dip. What are they buying and at what levels? We're going to ask the whales, we're going to see what they're doing, and hopefully we can follow in their footsteps. And at the end of the show, we have a secret segment. Yeah, a big secret segment. Stay tuned to find out what it's all about. I'm Crypto Man Run. You're watching Crypto Banter. This is the only station that brings you live, real-time information, because we know that traders like me and you need live, real-time information to make trading decisions. This is a call-in show, so you guys need to...
Crypto Banter is the world's first interactive social cast for the crypto community. Get the latest news, views, interviews, and live conversations with crypto enthusiasts from around the world. This is where you call in, you make the show, and you bring the banter. That's CryptoBanter.com, where you talk crypto.
That's CryptoBanter.com. Yeah, that's the station where you talk crypto. I'm Crypto Man Run, and welcome to another show of Crypto Banter. Just a reminder, guys, that if you are watching us on YouTube, you know what you need to do. You need to hit the like button and hit the subscribe button now, because when you hit the like button and the subscribe button, it brings the show to more traders and tells them that this is good content and stuff that they need to be trading. And then, of course, just another reminder, this is a call-in show. This is a show where you call in live. In fact, you make the show, you bring the banter. If you want to call in, go to our website. That's www.cryptobanter.com and join the show. Just hit the call button. Remember, you can remain anonymous. You don't need to tell us who you are. And you can call in on video or on audio only. So you don't need to expose who you are. Join the conversation. Let's banter. Let's talk crypto. And of course, let's talk about the big news in crypto, which is, of course, none other than the Bitcoin correction. Now, we're not going to say it's a surprise because everyone has been calling this Bitcoin correction. Yes, a lot of people hoped that Bitcoin would go straight up, but that's not really realistic. In fact, I pulled up a chart for you guys just to show you guys where we are. And we're going to be talking about this chart with a guy who calls himself some random French guy. Now, what we're going to look at is whether this correction is over and whether it's a healthy correction in a bull market or whether there's any risk that we're going back into bear market territory. Then later on in the show, what I'm going to be looking at is I'm going to be looking at 2017 versus 2020. And believe it or not, guys, there are a whole lot of similarities. In fact, the buildup is exactly the same. If you look at number 1 and number 2 on the chart in 2017, it's exactly the same time, exactly the same time frames, and exactly the same type of correction. So we can only assume that we've now moved into number 3 on this chart, and then we're about to go parabolic. So to me, nothing to worry about. On another note, I want to say that these corrections are very, very healthy. In fact, it's a very healthy sign of a bull market. The corrections reduce risk and provide us with an opportunity to buy into tokens much cheaper. And what we can see is that as soon as Bitcoin went under the 18,000 level, it quickly got bought up, and it got bought up in huge volumes. And that only says to us that this can probably be a healthy correction as opposed to a breakdown in the system. But then again, who am I? I'm not the Chartist. Let me bring in some random French guy. He calls himself some random French guy to tell me what he thinks of the charts. So, French guy, nice to meet you. Thank you for coming on Crypto Banter.
Yeah, thanks for the opportunity. I'm really excited to share my chart today.
Amazing. You know what? I actually saw your chart earlier today, and this is the chart that I'm putting up on the screen right now. That's the chart that you plotted. Tell me what I'm looking at in this chart.
Yeah, so here you can see the Bitcoin chart and the 4-hour time frame. So yeah, can I share my screen, please?
Yeah, sure.
So
I'm gonna add your screen to the show. While we're
yeah,
adding your
great.
screen again, I just want to remind our viewers, guys, you guys are the people that drive the show. We need you to drive the show. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. Today of all days when markets are going down, we need you guys to hit the like button, the subscribe button, to share this content so that other people will get it through the YouTube algorithm. Also, again, if you want to call in, if you want to put your charts up, if you want to talk crypto, if you just want to banter, just join the show. Here we are. This is what it's all about. It's about calling in and just talking crypto like we do all day long on Telegram and on Twitter. All right, French guy, what are we looking at here today? Maggie, I can see you in the waiting room. I'm going to add you to the show just as soon as we get a second. French guy, tell me about this chart that we're looking at.
Thank you. Yeah, so first of all, I wanted to show you the H4 charts. As you can see, the Bitcoin chart on Coinbase. So I've been drawing first the Fibonacci retracement from the last push up. So we can see it's retracing to the 0.618 Fibonacci retracement. So as you know, this is a key level for the uptrend. I'm sorry if you hear some noise. My neighbor decided to do some works in the apartment. So
that's what the station is about. The station is about normal people calling in and talking crypto. We know that the biggest nuggets in crypto actually come from normal people like you. And so this station does that. So we excuse the noise. This is not meant to be a CNBC production. This is about knowing what people like you and I are doing. So we are looking at the 4-hour Bitcoin chart. Tell us what we're looking at exactly.
Exactly. Yeah, so here you can see the retrace of the last dip of yesterday. And what I wanted to highlight is the other retrace we have been seeing during this uptrend. So here you can see I draw the Fibonacci retracement from the swing low to the swing high. And last retrace touched the 0.618 level. And if I take a look at the oldest one, you can see there is another retrace on the 0.618 level. So all those levels are key levels, and you can see this shows the strength of the uptrend. So this is my first argument to say it's a healthy correction yet. My second arguments are on these charts you've shared just a few moments before. So if I activated,
I must say, this is so cool that I'm in South Africa. I live in the USA. I'm now broadcasting from South Africa, and I'm speaking to a Frenchman about charts, and that's exactly the global nature of this crypto market. I love it. I love that this show can bring all these people together and let us all talk about this thing that we commonly love, which of course is cryptocurrency.
What do you think about my accent, by the way?
I love your accent, man.
Thank you. I just need to activate the MA. I'm not sure which one I have to look at. Yeah, this one. Exactly. So what you can see here is it's a trend line from the low on the 7th November, linking with the 26th November to today. We didn't dip to the trend line yet, but we see there is a support here. There is also the exponential moving average here. It's the 2000, I guess. Yeah, 2000. And we can see
It's 200-day moving average, right? That green line is the 200.
Yeah, 200. Sorry. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's complicated with the numbers. So yeah, and this is it's the 50 exponential moving average, still on the 4-hour chart. So here you can see that this moving average has been supporting the uptrend until the 25th November. Then we had the retrace, and until we claimed back this moving average, we have been bullish here. We have been staying above. However,
That's
yesterday,
the 50-day. That's the 50-day moving average, and what
50.
we're looking at here is
50,
the 4-hour
the yellow
chart.
one.
Yeah.
And all the green check marks are all the times Bitcoin has been bouncing above it.
Yes.
So we have been bullish above the 51. But as you can see, there has been a break here, and the break has been retraced, and then we bounced over, and we were still over until yesterday, and we fall down here since we couldn't break.
Yesterday we broke down through the 50-day moving average. What was that number? What was the number that you looked for, which marked that X for you on the chart? Is that it's very hard to see? Is it about 18,700, or what was the number that we broke below?
Excuse me, I didn't get
So yesterday, if I look at your chart, we broke below the 50-day moving average.
Yeah, exactly.
What level was that in terms of price? What was the price?
In terms of price, it's 18,600.
Okay, so we broke
around
down.
It. Yeah,
we broke down below 18,600, and that would have been a sign to all short-term traders that we've broken through the 50-day moving average, and now we're probably heading down. And it looks like That's exactly what happened. We headed down, and now the next critical level is the green line, which is a 200-day moving average.
Exactly, yeah. But I think we actually touched a local bottom here. As you can see, I've been charting this. I've been doing this chart like this morning, so 8 hours ago, and we were at this point, and I was already highing these points. And as you can see, there has been a quick recovery here. So we are seeing two green candles. So it's quite good news. I don't think here we are bullish. It's more like a flat area. So if you have been buying the bottom, you're good. But if you're here, I don't think it's the time to buy some Bitcoins. I think it's time to see what it does first. And then actually you have to draw multiple scenarios in case of, for example, if it breaks this green line and this trend line, can draw an arrow here.
So if it breaks the green line and the trend line, then we're in big trouble, because then we're now
you can expect further downtrend, yeah.
Okay, but that green line today sits at what price level?
It's sitting at $17,500.
Okay, so we're looking, before the show, I looked at Bitcoin. Bitcoin was way back above 18,000. It was way back above 18,000 on very, very, very high volume. I was watching the volumes. The volumes were very, very high. It looks like we may be out of immediate danger of breaking that trend line and even breaking that 200-day moving average. It does feel like we're very much in a bull market. Do you agree with me on that analysis?
Sure. As I said earlier, I'm still flat. Like the trend is bullish, but I'm still flat for the current move. I'm expecting Bitcoin to range for a bit. Let Altcoin move. Oh, I hate my neighbor.
Don't worry. That's okay. Carry on.
They're disturbing me more than you, I think.
Okay,
yeah, so I think we are. In my opinion, I'm staying flat for the moment because I think we're still ranging in this area. So between 19,000 and the green moving average. And if it breaks above, I think we are going to see the ATH like at least retest it, and I don't know. I think we are bullish above here, above this area, and bearish below.
Wow. Okay. So I see that's exactly my thesis. I think that we need to break that level. But you're saying if we break 19,000, that's the critical level that we want to break. And if we break that level, then we're going to the all-time high. And then again, if we break the all-time high, where we know there's been some resistance, then we're going up.
Yeah. The problem is that I'm seeing a lot of resistance on the higher time frame, sorry.
Let's have a look at the higher time frame.
Yeah, let me take another. Yeah, maybe this one is more interesting to look. So here,
guys, while we're doing this, please, guys, I'm watching the likes, I'm watching the subscribes. Please, guys, we've been growing every day. We've doubled our views every day. We need you guys to do that. Please just hit the like button and hit the subscribe button. Also, I do see all the YouTube comments. One of them says, "Great accent." I guess they're talking about you, not about me. It says the neighbors are probably bearish people. I guess your neighbors indeed are bearish people. Guys, we see you. This is what the community is all about. Let us know what you want to know. I see Stefan. I see you in the waiting room. Maggie, I see you in the waiting room. I'm going to bring you all into the show. I've also got Philip from YFDAI in the waiting room. It's going to be a huge show today. But first, let's finish with the Bitcoin charts. Alrighty. So we're now looking at the longer time frames.
This is the H1 chart. So here you can see there are multiple levels that we need to break to be bullish again. So I've been drawing sort of a bull flag here. So the price is trending down on this time frame, but overall it's a bullish structure because it usually breaks up and goes above like that. So what I'm looking at is those resistance. As you can see, I've been already tagging this resistance line, and we have been hitting this, and so far we are rejecting it as we are speaking. So where did Bitcoin break first? It has been breaking this area first, so this 19,000, and we couldn't reclaim it, so it went lower. And we broke this level as well. And if you unzoom, you can see there are so many levels to break. And it's actually critical on the short term for Bitcoin because we need to break this level, this moving average, and this market structure to be bullish, in my opinion. That's why I say that I'm still flat, because actually we may have seen a local bottom, but on short-term time frame, we still have many levels to claim back to be bullish.
That is amazing. French guy or French random guy, that's an amazing analysis. We've got Coach K in the waiting room. I see Coach K is having his, is that your morning coffee or is it your night whiskey? What are we looking at there?
It's my evening coffee.
Yeah, evening coffee. Okay, yeah, right. If you think Coach K, you've seen the graphs. I'm sure you're going to show some of your own graphs. Should we be worried, or is this just a healthy correction?
I mean, I was kind of expecting it, to be honest. I'll show you the zone that I'm just going to try and fix my camera here for a sec. I was showing you the zone in the last time we were on the call, and I do expect it still to go higher, and I'll show you why and where. So just let me just share my screen here quickly, and I'll give you my perspective.
Coach K is a regular on the show. The YouTubers love him every time he comes on. Comments go crazy. I guess they love what you're saying, so I'm going to add your screen. Wow. Yeah. Okay. Talk me through what we're looking at here.
Oh my God, what happened there? Okay. All right. So I usually look on a macro level. So we're looking at the daily, not at the hourly, not the 4 hour. We look at like the grand scheme of things to make it simple. A lot of people, when they're talking about trading, they think about it in like, we have to look at these low time frames. It's like, I look at trading like this. You look at high time frames, weekly, daily, 12 hour, 4 hour. It's a lot easier because it's like looking at Lego when you have like those really hard mini pieces versus like big blocks that when you're a little kid, you can put them together quite easily. The daily time frame is like the big blocks. You kind of see a bigger picture. And a lot of people that are scared right now, let me just scroll out for a second. What are we worried about when we have just this little baby correction? We had a bigger correction back in September. We had a massive correction in March. So, when we scroll out, it's really not so bad. Now, I had this zone on my chart because this is that gap that we were talking about. And so the gap that we had, what happened here? I'm on a different chart here. What happened, Rand?
I'm gonna add your screen back. There's your screen. Sorry, that was my bad.
Okay, no worries. No worries. So what I'm getting at is we're looking at a macro scale, and the 21-day EMA is very important. And when it was losing this today, I was like, that seems interesting. But I've had this level on my chart for quite some time, right around 17,700. And I told people we likely could come to this level, especially because we could fill this gap. And they were like, oh my God, is that bearish? And I said, no, because we're far away from the Kijun. Generally, price pulls back to it.
You called that the last time you were here. You said that was the CME gap, and that was the gap that you wanted to close. And I think you called it all the way down to like 17,200, right?
Yeah, it was like 17,000. I can show it here quite easily. So that was pretty much the close. So that was the big, huge gap you can see in the chart. We kind of filled a little bit, and we did this actually recently way down here. We kind of just barely filled a little bit, and then we kept going up. And I expected us to fill it all, but we didn't. And sometimes just going and filling some of it's enough. And I mean, generally, the gaps fill like 96 to 97% of the time, and they can fill at any point. This could still fill at some point. Even though that sounds pretty scary, it could definitely happen. We're in crypto for long enough, you know that. We also have a new gap this week, right up here, which is a really small one from 18,900 to 18,700. So we have this little gap here, which we could come up and fill as well. So I'm expecting us to definitely fill that gap as well sooner than later. Will this be the bottom? Potentially. This could have been potentially the bottom. You can see there's some support here. And when we go back to this chart here, I was actually doing a video just earlier today. And I was saying, we're like way down here. And I was saying it'd be really funny if we reclaim this 21-day EMA, we make a hammer off this level. So if you guys watch my YouTube channel, you'll see that come out like in the next, I don't know, 8 hours or so. You'll see while I was talking it way down here, I was saying it'd be funny if we see this push back up and turn into a hammer candle off of these 3 levels of support. 1, 2, 3, the 21-day EMA, the Tenkin, and this level, which has been here. If we go back into the past, so let's scroll out. This has been a level from the last bull run, which we've held from right back here. So it's something that, you know, you got to look back and see the past. We don't have a lot of history, obviously, but that's a level that's held in the past. So we'll look at this level again to hold. And so I was looking at that today, and I said, if we hold this level, it'll probably bounce. It bounced. Now we still have 8 hours and 30 minutes. A lot of stuff can happen. But I expect that this will turn into a hammer candle very likely. We'll close above, 18.35, and then we'll continue going back up. Yeah.
So your critical level that we all should be watching is 18,350, and that is in about 8 hours on the daily close. If we close above 18,350, you're saying it's all good, we're bullish. If it closes below, you're saying we may still fill that CME gap, and that could take us down to, say, 17,200, which is actually the consensus amount amongst most the chartists that I've seen during the day. I must just say,
look at this too. If we want to talk about, are you bearish or bullish? It's simple as this. Are we making higher lows? 1, 2, 3, 4. It's still a higher low. Even if we come and fill the gap, it's a higher low. So really, this doesn't break market structure for me. This still tells me we're bullish. I still told you guys from before, I did expect us to come either to 22, 24, and come back down after around the 18th. It could be before, it could be after, but I do expect that to happen. But this doesn't show me right here that we're like super bearish all of a sudden. So I wouldn't be someone who's really scared and bearish right now. I would be kind of contemplating on what I'm going to do next. If I'm not in a trade, I would kind of sit out and wait and see what happens in 8 hours and just chill. Don't be trying to catch trades and see if this closes as a hammer, it's likely going to go up. And if it fills 18.8, 18.9, comes up to this level up here and then drops back down, it would kind of coincide with this level right here that was looking like it could turn into a bull flag, but actually rejected that level a few times and broke down. So that's what you're looking for Bitcoin, in my opinion.
So Coach K, I mean, I looked at this graph earlier today. Now, it's not a very pretty graph and not a very accurate graph, but what it does show is that when we have parabolic movements in Bitcoin, or in fact, in any asset, it's normal for the asset to take a breather. And if I looked at the 2017 bull run and where we started and how the bull run moved, you can see that we had these 1, 2, 3, 4, and there was a 5th correction before we went all the way up to the top. Now, these corrections haven't been even close to the corrections that we had in 2017. And they provide an amazing opportunity for traders to buy the same asset at a lower price and therefore with a reduced risk of downside.
I mean, MicroStrategy wants to buy $400 million of Bitcoin. and we know they're gonna buy it on OTC, but if the market drops down, of course that's great for them. They would love that. They want to buy it up. Great. Let them buy it at an OTC at a lower price.
It's not only MicroStrategy, it's actually everybody in the crypto community. Yeah. This is your chance to buy in the bull run. I see lots of comments on Twitter, on Facebook, on YouTube, all saying, if the price comes down, I'm going to buy. This is it. The price has come down. The price is down 10%, probably come down a bit further. Stefan, I see you in the waiting room. I'm going to bring you're live on Crypto Banter now. Welcome to the show.
Hey. Nice to be here. Thanks to be on.
So Stefan is a good friend and he's from Hong Kong. Stefan, are you worried about this little correction that we've had? I mean, you've been around for a while. I know you're a hodler, you're a trader. Are you worried about this at all, or is this just another day in paradise?
We've gone through many different waves like this, and I mean, I think the foundation in Bitcoin is so strong, and across all the cryptocurrencies, the development is there, that this is a little blip. And this is just getting us ready to go to the next 30,000, in the next couple of weeks. We're sort of hunkering down, trying to break through to the 20,000 mark. We were pretty close, but didn't quite make it. I think we're going to drop down a little more and a bit back up. But overall, in the context of some of the days that we've seen, it's a tiny blimp, right? I mean, we've been through much bigger, faster drops.
It does seem pretty strange for those of us that have been around for a while. We used to get corrections of like 50% in like 2 days. Yeah. These are like 10, 15%. They're like, we used to get that in an hour in 2017.
Yeah. I'm not too sure what people are freaking out about, really. Like, maybe that tells us there's some new retail, which is good. I like seeing people freak out because that's like, wow, people are freaking out about price again. This is good. That means people are new and coming in and they're worried. That's good.
All right, well, then I'm going to put you guys both in the spot and say, okay, since you guys are both very experienced, I know you guys are both very experienced traders, I know you both personally, how are you trading this dip? Now, obviously, you have a level where you think you may buy some Bitcoin, but what else are you buying? Stefan, I'm going to look at you.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not buying Bitcoin anymore. I'm hodling my Bitcoin. I'm focused more. I think we're now moving into the alt season, right? So it's going to get really interesting within the altcoin category. DeFi, we're super early in the DeFi space. I think we've just starting to see some of the initial opportunities and capabilities, right? You had, Terra on with their mirror protocol, right? That's super interesting. What are we going to create around, synthetics associated with real world stocks, for example? How can we build out on that? You've got options coming into the market. You've got insurance coming into the market. Why isn't Aave? Why isn't Chainlink is already up there, but why isn't Aave up there? Why isn't Compound in the top 10 already with the opportunities and the capabilities they're offering with simple collateralization, right? I mean, you can go on there, stake your ETH or your Bitcoin or your Compound, and then get in return, any other currency that you want, pay a yield on that, and you can go up to 70% of your assets. No full-on bureaucratic papers to sign. User experience is phenomenal, all tied with my identity and my MetaMask. And if I'm whitelisted, I'm perfect, right? Why not give me that? And then you can go back and trade into more DeFi opportunities.
So how long until we see a DeFi coin in the top 5 coins? I mean, I know Chainlink kind of hovers there. I know Ethereum is the platform on which DeFi is built on, but how long until we see one of these YFI, YFDAI, or in the top 5 coins?
I mean, I won't give you a dead date. I mean, if we all knew that, we'd all be ruling, But I mean, I definitely think in the next year we'll see some interesting action there. The funny thing for me is, I've just come from, really trying to push payments as a mechanism, using Bitcoin Cash as a payments vehicle, and every time I use that wallet, I really love it. But on the flip side, we've sort of moved away from using cryptocurrency as a payment mechanism, right? And we've now moved into as an investment vehicle, right? But I think what a lot of people also don't understand is the underlying cryptocurrencies are actually utility and governance tokens, right? Which allows us to either have the cryptocurrencies in order to vote, and the value associated with those governance tokens is the appreciation of having those tokens in order to participate and be a voter in those currencies, or to be able to use the utility of an Oracle service like a Chainlink, right? And so I think what a lot of people do forget, that the underlying value of those currencies is basically the ability to influence governance and the ability to use the utility.
Yeah, 100%. Now,
I like that.
I'm looking at both of you. YFDAI is a coin that's been called on our show many times. It's been called in our Telegram group. In fact, we've had a lot of people talking about this project. Are either of you in that project?
I'm not personally.
Yeah, no. Okay, well, amazing. We have Philip from YFDAI with us here today. Philip, tell us a little bit about YFDAI. And the reason why I ask is our Telegram group goes crazy with the YFDAI call every day. Now, I know that that's a trading signal for lack of anything better. Tell us a little bit about the project. What is YFDAI? We can't hear you. I'm going to try and bring your microphone in. I guess you've got to unmute yourself there.
Yeah. Super cool project.
Better.
There we go.
There we go. So I want to show our viewers what all the hype is about. And for our listeners, I'll talk you through this chart. Here is a chart of YFDAI. I've called the 90-day chart of YFDAI. It was 90 days ago. It was at $262. And today it is trading at about $3,000. So there's obviously something here. The coin's over 10x'd itself in the last 90 days. Philip, tell us why.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I started working with YFDAI around about 4 months ago, pretty much, right at the launch. And I was researching the DeFi projects, trying to find ones that really stood out, because there's many that are just clones and copies, and some may work, but finding the good ones is the ones that have originality, the ones that are trying to do things differently. So, the good thing about YFDAI, there was no pre-sale, and they made sure that everything was safe and secure. So they locked all team, advisor, marketing tokens, they locked the liquidity, there's full audits by the blockchain Concilium. So that really gave it a good base to start off with. And they did no marketing. What they said they wanted to do is they wanted to build the foundations as a business. And they've done that. So they released the staking, they released the farming, all the own apps.
But for our viewers who have really no idea what YFDAI is, just tell us what the protocol does. What is this? What is YFDAI actually about?
Yeah, it's a full suite DeFi platform. So basically you're staking, you're farming, lending, borrowing, insurance, but they're also going one step further with an e-money license to give e-commerce on the back end, so that you'll actually also be able to spend your income and spend your funds as well with a fiat on off-ramp and debit cards. But on top of that, they've got an exchange similar to Uniswap and also a launch pad. But the whole basis is that it's not free for anyone to list, and that there's going to be some checks and balances in place to remove the illegitimate projects, to give consumers the protection that they need and give projects the spotlight for change.
Is that going to be done by the community through the governance token, or is that done via a centralized body?
The governance is due to go live at the end of this year, and that will be part of governance as well. At the moment, a lot of the project has been set up in a centralized manner on the basis that they wanted to get the project to a certain standpoint. And then, at the end of this year, governance will take over.
All right, now tell us a little bit about the team. Who is the team behind the launch of this protocol?
Well, the team's a fairly small, unknown team. And originally, they were anonymous. And around about 5 weeks ago, they managed to get through the legal process to become non-anon, which is really, really important, I think. But, they are techie people, they're coders, they're traders, They've been involved in crypto since around about 2017. But we've just taken on a new COO, and he is from the traditional finance industry, worked with the biggest banks that you can find, and his role is to come in and actually look at where centralized finance is failing people and how we can change that. So run it in a decentralized manner and bring it to YFDAI.
So there was no pre-sale, no real ICO so much to speak to. The project is currently trading at about an $11 million market cap, so much smaller than most other stuff. You say that they have had the security audits done. So for as much as that can give comfort to some of the viewers, it doesn't mean that the project is safe. It just means that it's a little bit safer, right?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. All right. What can we expect going forward from YFDAI? Obviously, with the price going up so much, the market's telling you that they have big expectations. What are the expectations?
Well, the key thing is we wanted to hit all of our targets with regards to product delivery, and there is a lot of products coming out over the next 3-4 months. But of course, everybody wants new exchanges. But there will be exchanges coming. It's a very, very important part. And even if we do it just to get rid of when Binance, when whoever, but, there's a lot coming. We're going to be taking on a lot more staff. To run a project of this size, we've really got to grow rapidly. So there'll be a lot more staff coming in. And there's going to be a lot of more innovative products that aren't showcased in our white paper. Daniel, the new COO, he only started 2 weeks ago. And as we said, what we want to do is we want to look at where centralized finance is failing people or where it can be done better. So, yeah, there will be a whole range of new products coming as well.
Amazing. Stefan, I know you're also looking at some other DeFi tokens. What are the top 2 or 3 DeFi tokens that you're looking at, Stefan? And what price are you looking to get in at?
Yeah, I mean, I'm a long investor, so I look over the long horizon. So I look where there's a lot of activity from a developer standpoint, where we're seeing a lot of developers work on the protocols and on the products, and then ultimately, what is the social momentum around that, and then what is the business development skills associated coming on top of that. There's some protocols that I really like.
Our viewers are very fussy. They want names. They like putting you on the spot and saying, what are the 3 tokens that you would be buying right now? What are the levels that you would be buying them at? I guess that's what our community want. That's what the YouTube comments are saying, at least.
So I like right now, I think Solana is pretty interesting in terms of where they're at. They've just gone through a huge sort of attack. Or a shutdown, but their developers got to, they didn't complain, they didn't whine, they went to work and they fixed it, got it back up and running again, and they're back and doing deals again. So they just did another announcement with Arweave. Arweave is an online storage solution. I've used Arweave. I like what they do. I'm super excited about how simple it is. It's like a Dropbox, and the user experience is very easy to get that going. So I thought that was pretty, at least maybe from a bit of a
I love Arweave. I'm one of the original investors in Arweave. I'm glad you brought it up. They are doing the same thing that Filecoin is doing, or very similar. They're doing file storage. But what they do is, instead of paying per meg or per gig stored, you pay a once-off fee. Yeah. And they store your data forever, and they call it permaweb. Yesterday, they made an announcement that they've teamed up with Solana, and that Solana will be using them for file storage instead of developing their own protocol. That's a big announcement. Arweave, for me, definitely is one of the ones to look out for. Coach, what are you looking at? Because I can see you're focused. You're looking at the charts. So what are you looking at?
There's some interesting projects that are a little bit more on the unknown side of things. I'm looking at a project called Saffron Finance. Spice is what it's known as. I know that they're anonymous, but I know the people that are actually behind it for real in real life, and so that makes me a lot more confident, obviously.
Well, come on, tell us who they are. Then they won't be anonymous anymore.
I can't, because then I never would dox anyone that I care about. But these are really good people. They're well known in the industry. They're saving themselves from, basically the U.S. government. And so basically these guys are really intelligent. They've worked in big companies in the space. They're not dummies. They've developed everything like from scratch. It's not a copy of YFI. It's not a copy of any other ones, Sushi or Uniswap. They built everything by hand. It's hand coded. It's a really
Coach. The waiting rooms are going crazy. The viewers are calling in today. It's going crazy here today. Next call. Let's go. Next call. Stefan, I'm coming to you for your call. And after that, Philip, I am going to come to you for a call as well, other than YFDAI. So, Coach, what else? What happens?
All right. What else? Obviously, Aave is one of the ones I've kept my eyes on. I really want it to come down to $70, lower 70s. It almost got there today. I was right about to buy it and didn't get to my lower level.
Aave at $70. Your entry point is $70.
72 or something, 71, 72, 73. In that range. I just missed it today. But when that alarm goes off, I'll be quick to hit the trigger for sure on Aave. I think that it's going to hit $100 soon enough.
I do want one more from you, but first I'm going to go to Stefan. Stefan, one more call from you. I want to know what you're buying and what your price level is.
Sheesh, price level is always a difficult one, but I'm looking at Melon Protocol. I love the fact that you can build your own fund on there and anybody can participate in your fund. I think they're trading at about $25 about now, or 26 or 29 or something in that range. They do have a bounty sale on, so you can get 40% bonus if you participate in the bounty sale. So that's interesting.
Amazing. All right, Philip, I don't normally do this to people who are talking about their own projects, but just for good measure, so that you're not here to shill your own project as much as we do like YFDAI. And in fact, full disclosure, I hold some YFDAI. Name one or two other projects that you're bullish about in the DeFi space.
Yeah, I mean, one project that I do really like is the Forum Network. You know, it's a really, really good DeFi project that goes unnoticed. And I think this is the issue that we were talking about earlier. There's some amazing projects that just don't get the chance of the spotlight. And the thing is with the Forum project, the CEO is probably the hardest working in the industry. You know, he's everywhere. He doesn't sleep. And I know that he has got the ability to take Forum where it needs to go. You know, it's at 6 cents at the moment. You know, it's a tiny micro cap. You know, if you're looking to try and get an easy 10 times, that's where I'm.
What's the ticker symbol for that? The viewers are asking.
FOM.
FOM. All right. So FOM, you said it's trading at about 6 cents. I am going to call it up onto my screen just so that everybody can see.
I've been in that project since before the ICO was even done. I've been really close with Ian. They're an extremely hardworking team, and they are coming out with a ton of projects. They have like their own launch pad. They just launched with Bondly today, which did a 15x, and you could only get it through their launch pad. So they're doing some really big stuff, and they have another project coming soon, but you have to hold Ferrum to be able to do it. So it's a really, really well done project and a really hardworking team that went through a bear market with only $1 million raise. So they've done some good stuff.
$1 million raise. I'm going to share it on my screen just for our viewers to see it. It's called FRM. The market cap is about $6.5 or $6.7 million. You know, I love giving these kind of projects exposure because, like you say, they hardworking teams that do a lot, but they get lost in coin market cap and CoinGecko under the 200-300 level. And then the problem is that it's very hard for people to notice them. All right, so that's FRM. Philip, one more call from you before we let you go. The lines are going crazy here. I've got Maggie, I see you. Louis, I see you. Mr. Biz, I see you. Altcoin Sherpa, I see you. And I see all you guys on the YouTube, all on the YouTube chat. Guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. We are getting the distribution, but it's only because of you guys. Phil, people are talking about your tattoos. Vicky says, those tattoos look hot as, I'm not going to mention it. One more call before we let you go.
Yeah, I mean, Joel mentioned it earlier. I'm really big on Bondly. I think anything Polkadot is going to do really well. But Bondly in particular, again, for similar reasons.
That's the Bondly community. And the good news is that tomorrow on the show, tomorrow at 10 a.m. EST, we've got Bondly coming on to tell us exactly what they're doing. Very exciting project that's blown up in the last couple of days.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but again, it's still a really low cap. And the good thing is, again, it's about the, Brandon, the CEO. He's another pit bull. He's going to work 20 hours a day, 7 days a week, and he will make that project a success. And that's what you really need. You need somebody that he'll die to make that project a success. And that's what we need to see.
Yeah.
You're putting all your money behind the founders initially, but then afterwards, of course, you're hoping that the protocol gets a network effect and that the founders can disappear.
For sure.
And these can happen. Alrighty, so Phil, we're going to let you go because the lines are going crazy. People are lining up to take the call. Thank you for coming on. Thank you for telling us a little bit more about YFDAI. Of course, this is a call-in show, so the lines are open for you, and you can call in whenever you want and update us on what the project is doing. Thank you, Phil. Maggie, I'm going to bring you in because you've been patient. You've been waiting for a long time. In fact, since the beginning of the show, you're live on air with Crypto Banter with myself, Stefan, and of course, Coach K. Maggie, what do you want to talk about?
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm a crypto investor. I'm old. I have not, thank you very much. I have not invested in carrot bars, but I believe there's a carrot bar coin on the market. Now, I want to ask you people, is it legit? Because I cannot go back to work to earn money. I'm too old for that. So I need to know how legit is carrot coins. If you can help me out.
Okay.
Stefan, I'm going to, Steph, I know that this is not your forte, so I'm going to lose you on this call. Thank you for calling in, my friend. Have a great day in Hong Kong or a great night in Hong Kong, and we'll chat to you soon. All right, so carrot bars. Now, I must just say something here before we talk any further about carrot bars. This show is not an investigative journalist show. In fact, I'm going to play our disclaimer for everyone so everyone can hear it.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research.
All right, and we're back. We're talking to Maggie. We're talking to a couple of other people. We've got Coach K on the line. Okay, so carrot bars is one that I saw a lot of hype about. They were making a big noise. Coach K, what do you know about carrot bars?
Oh, okay. Listen, I know a lot of people that went into it, and there was some legitimacy to a lot of the stuff that was there when it was on paper, but when I really looked deeper, I was one of the only influencers at the time before this whole July thing in Vegas happened a year and a half ago. I made a video and said, from what I'm doing in my research, I think that it's a lot of noise and not really that legit. And a lot of people got so angry at me that I actually took the video down. Since then, we've seen the price diminish to nearly nothing. And then I saw a video of the CEO with a really weird green screen, and they're supposed to be these multi-billionaire. And there's some stuff that really shout out to me like red flags. And so I was just telling people, hey, listen, you do whatever you want, but there's a lot of red flags. And now I've talked to some of my friends that were helping a little bit promoting it, and they've kind of came to me and said, yeah, you were right. There was a lot of illegitimacy to it. So I don't like to burst people's bubbles, but I've done this for many people in the past. And I don't know if you'll ever see carrot bars be what it was said to be. And unfortunately, that's one of those projects that caught a lot of people off guard. I know a lot of guys that were in Marius's group, Marius Landis, Landman, I think his name is. They got caught off guard. He got caught off guard. And it happens. It's part of crypto, unfortunately, in the reality. So that's my opinion on it. I looked at the project in, I think, 2018 or 2019. At the time, I couldn't reconcile the tokenomics. I had a call, I think, with some of the founders or the representatives. I still couldn't make heads or tails of the tokenomics. And so when I don't understand something, I guess the best thing is just to stay out. What people are saying to you is just take your money out of carrot bars and either put your money into gold, put your money into Paxos Gold, or put your money into Bitcoin, because it's the new digital gold. Crypto Ultron, I see you're live on Crypto Banter. You're live on Crypto Banter. What do you want to talk about?
I was actually hoping you guys could give me some information about Vechain. It's like one of my biggest investments, so other than Bitcoin, of course.
All right, Coach K, you can take this one away.
Yeah, absolutely. Vechain, they've definitely grown from from the small company that they were. Mm-hmm. They have a lot of real businesses that are using their technology. Mm-hmm. I think that there's a lot of growth potential there. I've been in Vechain or around Vechain for quite some time, and I think that they're definitely going to have the type of year, especially from a technical analysis perspective, that should be very bullish. Whether
Coach,
they
is Vechain the chain that was at one point tagging luxury goods and putting all the luxury goods on the blockchain? Is it the same?
Yeah.
Vechain?
Yeah. So I mean, I think if they can achieve what they're doing, and they already have a lot of really big companies in their whole system. Whether it's going to be huge or not, I can't comment. But what I do think is that they've got all the infrastructure there. And now it just comes down to whether Vechain produces what they've created and what they said they're going to do. So I think that's like a pretty easy overview of it. I have to go look back into every little detail, but I know they signed on some massive companies. Mm-hmm. And it's basically tracking all the stuff on the blockchain, right? So kind of like what Walmart's doing with their blockchain, but for so there's definitely a use case.
So the lines are going crazy. I'm going to let you go, but what I'm going to say to you is I'm going to try and get someone from Vechain, because as you mentioned it, both the Telegram and the Twitter started to go crazy. So we will try and get someone who is in the know, very close to the project, to come and talk to us. Coach K, I'm going to bid you farewell as I bring Mr. Biz on, and we're going to talk about how to trade this altcoin market dip, what we're going to be buying.
It's a Spectre Grouper, man. That's my homie. What's up?
What's up, Coach?
Shout out to Bitcoin. Shout out to Bitcoin Brown, and all the peeps. Yeah, man.
We've got Bitcoin Brown coming onto our show. I think it's
Are you guys having any troubles hearing me?
No, we can hear you.
I just want to say, man, Coach, for everybody listening, man, Coach is a great guy. He's one of the best TA guys I know. I'm not a TA guy, but when I do need TA help, I'm no joke. I remember last time ETH crashed a few weeks ago, and Coach was the first guy I went to. Coach said we're gonna be fine Monday, and we were fine.
All right, so hold on. We might be onto something here. What if I keep Coach on the call, and Mr. Biz, you tell us what you're looking at, and if we need to do TA, Coach can do the TA on demand.
I'm cool with it, man. We're homies. Coach, it's good.
Let's go. You know what I'm looking at right now?
What we're looking at for those guys that have just joined us is how to trade this dip. As traders, as investors, we love dips. The reason why we love dips is because for us, that's just an opportunity to buy something that was more expensive yesterday to buy cheaper today. So we look at what the big whales are buying and what the big whales are selling, and hopefully we can make some money by following some of their calls. Alrighty, Mr. Biz, what are you looking at in this little correction?
I've been looking at, and for like maybe 2 weeks now, looking at Polkadot, trying to get cheap I'm gonna tell you guys right now, Polkadot's gonna pull an Ethereum this bull run. Polkadot's probably gonna do a 10x, and I'm looking at, and again, so 2 levels. I'm looking at below 4.5, which is hasn't happened since the last correction we had around Thanksgiving. But if it goes below 4, I'm gonna tell you right now, load up, guys. Load up. Load up.
Alrighty. So tell us why you're so excited about Polkadot. I mean, I see Coach K nodding, and I assume that he wants to tell us about the charts, and the charts obviously look very good. But Mr. Biz, what are you looking at, or what is it about Polkadot that makes you so excited?
Well, essentially, and I don't want to say there's ever going to be an Ethereum killer, but it is getting the people in the Ethereum community to sweat. Whenever you see these Ethereum guys come on, and when Polkadot comes up and they start getting defensive, you know something's going on, because I don't see them being as defensive about other protocols as they are about Polkadot. But also, listen, there is no Ethereum without Gavin Wood. Gavin Wood was the CTO of Polkadot. CTO of Ethereum, and he started Polkadot. Right? Is there any more bigger reason to invest in Polkadot other than the guy who helped create Ethereum is starting Polkadot? I mean, come on.
People. Coach, what do the charts say about Polkadot?
I mean, it looks like almost like a gigantic weekly cup and handle, honestly. I could throw up a chart on the weekly, but there's not much. There's not much there because obviously we had the coin split and it went to like $2 and it pumped. And actually, I was with Brown. Me and Brown were actually watching this together, and I was like, man, I'm gonna get in this. He was telling me for like a week, I'm getting in. This is the bomb. It's gonna go. So we were like around this point when she throw it up there, we were like in around like $2 and something cents, like around down here at 280. And then we came in and we just rode this for like weeks. But now it kind of looks like it has this really healthy retrace going on where it kind of did all, like, it's not a perfect cup to handle, obviously, but did this nice cup. It's coming down. I'm right with you, man. Around $4.25 or so. That would be a really good bullish place for it to come to, and maybe wick to $4. And then you could come and it's going to do what a lot of other charts have done, where it comes down here and just goes on its next move up. That might be next year, but Polkadot, I mean, look at all the projects that are building on it. What's happening when they list? They list and they just explode, and it's because there's so much to them.
Guys, you have to ride the Polkadot hype.
Yeah.
You had to look at Bonley. What did coach do? Coach, what did Bonley do yesterday? Was it a
Bonley just did like a 17x.
And I remember because we did an AMA inspection, and one of the biggest things about Bonley is they're going to get a parachain, and this is going to be a key word next year. They're going to get a parachain on Kusama, and maybe eventually, I don't know if they're going to go to Polkadot or not. But the thing with Polkadot is these projects are going to have to essentially lock up DOT tokens in order to get a parachain, right? So think of this. This is not just regular investors. We talk about institutional investors all the time. Oh, they're going to buy up Bitcoin, all these things, and that's going to drive the price up. We don't need institutions for Polkadot to moon, because the beauty is the projects building on Polkadot are going to lock the tokens up themselves. And I believe at one point, and I don't know what the stat is, it was about 70% of the circulating supply might have already been staked. And I know on platforms like Kraken now, they just offered Kusama staking as well. You can stake your DOT. This is, I don't want to say it's under the radar, but for a very big project, and I'm a big guy with engagement, and I'm you guys talk about Ferrum Network. I'm one of the top Ferrum influencers, and Thorchain and XDAI Stake. Yeah.
Did I put you on the Ferrum? I think I was one of the guys that put you on the Ferrum.
Well, you were. Well, listen, I'm the number one influencer for years, so nobody can tell me nothing about that. But if you look at DOT, a lot of people right now, and again, it's not a 2017, 2018 project. Polkadot really started becoming popular in the summertime. The fact that it does not have that, that history of the PTSD where the people are like, oh man, I bought XRP at $3, or I bought so and so coin at the top. The all-time high for Polkadot was around $6, and $6. I mean, if it's, and I know most people got in around $3 in the summertime. If it goes to 4 or under, that's a steal.
Mr. Biz, you make a great point there, because the tokens that were out in 2017, they have something that may be a double-edged sword for them. So they have a peg or an anchor of where their all-time high was. So you have Ethereum. Ethereum's all-time high was around $1,900. So today, Ethereum looks cheap relative to what it looked like back in the day. And if you look at like Bitcoin, it's now trading almost at its all-time high, so it doesn't seem as cheap anymore. What we're saying about Polkadot is Polkadot hasn't actually had the chance to run yet. It did have one run. The run took it to $6. We've also seen a lot of great news coming out around Polkadot. One of the biggest headlines that I saw of late was the Huobi, the bigger Chinese exchange, pledging their support, locking up tokens, creating special events for Polkadot. So you can see that this project is really building a community around it. I think I agree with you. I mean, I don't know if I want to use the word Ethereum killer, but certainly I want to say that this is not one of those.
No. And the thing is, it doesn't have to be an Ethereum killer. That's the beauty of Polkadot. It doesn't have to be an Ethereum killer. So many projects are building upon on it, for its advantages. And I don't think that, again, Ethereum's got a first mover advantage, but I'll say this, and I sent a tweet out about this. Listen, Ethereum's probably going to go to $2,000, which is about, let's say, a 4x from here, 3.5, 4x. Polkadot's I'm pretty confident Polkadot will probably go to $50. If Ethereum's going to go to 2,000, Polkadot right now, I believe, is a 10x away from Ethereum's market cap. And again, I'm not a hopium guy. I'm trying to be conservative. If we have a bull run, like everybody says we're going to have a bull run, I'm looking at a $50 Polkadot. And think of this: if you can get Polkadot under $4, listen, even if it goes to $20, that's a 5x on a big cap. And I say this to people all the time: you can put a lot of your net worth in a lot of these big cap safe plays. There's not a lot of them, but Polkadot is one of them where listen, this thing's going to be huge, and the thing is, it hasn't had a hype cycle yet.
All right, Polkadot or Cardano?
Polkadot all the way.
Coach K?
I would say Polkadot definitely right now because they have the hype.
Yeah.
They have the hype. They have the hype, and they have what the
investor psychology, guys. Investor psychology. People look at a chart of Polkadot. They're gonna look at this and gonna say, "I'm still early," right?
Yeah.
I mean, if let's say $3 was the bottom, you get in Polkadot $4. Who's gonna turn that down? Who's gonna turn that down of all the bullish things that are coming out about it? I mean, I think even some major media news articles that might have been Bloomberg or Forbes. Polkadot. Again, they're gonna use the Ethereum killer narrative, but I just saw Polkadot decoded. These guys are extremely organized. The way they're meticulous and cerebral with these projects, Akala and Moonbeam and Bifrost. I mean, look, good God, the names themselves are really sexy, right? Look at all these projects and what. Listen, the name. I mean, I saw the Moonbeam's website, and I mean, these guys are really, really smart guys. These are teams, and the thing is, one thing that we've seen with what we haven't seen in Ethereum, all these projects, brother sister projects, they look out for each other. So, and at the essence, you look at a pyramid, you got all these projects in the bottom, and who's on the top? It's Polkadot. Polkadot's pulling the strings.
All right, Polkadot it is. I think 3 out of 3, 1 from me, 1 from Coach K, and 1 from you. What else are you looking at?
I'm looking at Teller. Right now, Coach. I don't know, Coach. Teller.
You know me, man.
Teller has had it's gone on the radar, a ridiculous retrace from its all-time high of around $80. It's trading, I believe, around $23 right now. Guys, look at the supply. There was a period, and I don't have the chart in front of me. There was a period where Teller did a 3 to 5x in such a small period of time in the summertime. It was ridiculous. Teller was $3 in March, guys. It was $3, I believe. Yeah. And you look at the parabolic running. Yeah, look at what happened in the summertime.
But now, when you look at a graph like this, it was a $3. It's now $23. Are you telling me, in good faith, that you're actually willing to put money into something that was $3 and is now $23?
I'll tell you why.
Hell yeah.
The only reason it retraced is because the whole market retraced. That retrace that happened in the fall was not specific to Teller, right? And when something like that happens, you do a reset, right? You say, all right, you know what? It was 80. Why did it drop? Well, the whole market crashed, right? We had a big, you want to call it a correction, but for an Oracle, and again, you want to compare it, and I'm a big Chainlink guy. Chainlink is going to carry the whole market. Whatever Chainlink does, guys, if Chainlink does a 5x, whatever it does, it's good for the rest of the Oracles. You use that as a valuation basis. So if Chainlink is, if Teller is, I don't know how many X's away from Chainlink, but Teller, realistically speaking, it can hit the all-time high, and it probably is going to break it. Or it can definitely get to $100.
Teller, if I'm not mistaken, actually has some Chainlink. Isn't it founded by, or isn't part of the team Chainlinkers?
No, I believe not, but it is backed by Binance and it is backed by Consensus. And there is a rumor that there's a wallet, the ETH Genesis wallet, that people are saying that is Vitalik's wallet, and Vitalik holds Teller. I'm not here to spread. I'm not here to spread rumors. But
that sounds like a little bit of a
no. There actually is there's actually verifiable proof.
I think he dumped it though. Like, he had it and then he dumped it a bit. But like, I think the really cool thing about Teller that people miss is that their supply is pretty much completely out there. It doesn't have any more drops that are coming into the market. So I really like diluted, like non-diluted. It's the supply is completely out there. So, I mean, when you see it drop, it's dropping as people are actually just selling because they got in cheap. And when it dropped all the way down to, I mean, you were probably hearing me when I said it. I made videos when it was at like $20 and dropping. I said, I'm going to start dollar cost averaging in. And I bought it at like 17 and 16 and 13. And then it went back up. And I was like, yes, I feel like a genius because it just exploded back up. And then it came back down to 17, 18, $19. And I kept buying it again. And it went back up. And I think it's now on a more of a bullish trajectory for the longer term. So, yeah, Teller. Definitely Dia, definitely another one.
Dia's another one.
Really, really.
The oracles that came out. I mean, again, we had a lot of great projects that came out. Earlier, late last year, earlier this year. But DIA is another good one, and again, I'm we an inspector, we like to look at it. You look at categories under the decentralized finance as a category. Look at the Oracle category. The Oracles, and again, Oracles always pump. Find me an Oracle. And again, DOS was another one that they had nothing, but DOS went on an incredible run. I think it was maybe 15 or 20x that DOS went on earlier the year. The Oracle narrative, just because there's not a lot of them, right? The Oracle narrative is one you can use to ride and say this is why it's going to pump. And most people don't even know what Oracles do. But a lot of times, you can't think rationally in an irrational market. The reason people buy things, is different.
I must say, I think that oracles are a very, very, very important part of the ecosystem. I mean, without oracles, none of these smart contracts work. None of them can trigger. The oracle is the actual feed that triggers the contract. So, if for example, if you have a sports betting application, the oracle would feed the score information in. And so these oracles are super, super, super important. And it doesn't surprise me that Chainlink is up there in the top 5 or top 10 coins. Again, the reason for that is very simple. Without oracles, none of this works. None of this DeFi, none of this smart contract landscape works. Alrighty, Mr. Biz, come on. What's the next call? I mean, as you start talking, all the comments here start to fly. People are saying, what about Neo? We've got XRP holder for life. He says safer Oracle projects with more upside. In my opinion, Zap, banned protocol.
Zap.
I mean, listen,
Zap had like no development. I mean, go to their GitHub. They've had no development for like a year almost, unless they just started recently.
And it's still pumped based off the Oracle hype. Zap had a little bit of a pump earlier this year. Listen, one of the other ones, again, and I don't want to. There's so many people on Chainlink. Chainlink's another one that I've been looking at. I've been seeing if Chainlink, it fell under 12. Can we get a Chainlink under 11.5? Chainlink, I think, hit, we know it hit $20, and thanks to Dave Portnoy, it probably hit all-time high, and it probably dumped a lot as well. Chainlink's another safe big cap play, and if you can get the Chainlink under 12 or around 11, it was again yesterday under 12. I think that's another one. If you want to talk about a sleeper, we were talking about Ferrum Network before. If there's one thing I can say about Ferrum Network, the best thing I can say, it's the Amazon of staking. If you want to talk about a sexy line, it is the protocol that all these projects now use for their staking platform. That's Ferrum.
Yeah.
That's a Ferrum. And again, Ferrum is going to do 100x, guys. It already did 10x. It did a 10x. But here's the thing. From when I got in, it did a 10x already. It's going to do another 10. It's going to do another 10x. And that essentially would have been 100x from buying it from the bottom. And it's not hard, guys. You put a little bit of money in. You don't have to go all in, and you wait. People right now are just looking for, a lot of time, people looking for quick flips.
Risk 1% of your portfolio. And if it goes 10x, that becomes 10x your portfolio. We've got Barrett Kanoon, who says DeFi projects are coming to ADA. There was an article in Cointelegraph. Yes, we had Charles Hoskins on our show. He is a huge bull on DeFi. We like Cardano. We love Cardano, actually. But one that I want to talk to you guys about when you're talking about oracles is, of course, API 3. I don't know if you guys have been watching API 3.
Yep.
Absolutely.
What do you think?
I like all the projects. Once it came out, there's a lot of FUD going around it. The market cap is high. That's my only issue. I know a brother of mine from Spectre, Johnny Zcash, got in around $1. Personally, and again, I'm big on market caps. Unless we see a big retrace, I'm not going to get in this one. I'll be honest with you. If CoinGecko is accurate, it's a $42 million market cap for a relatively new project.
Too big
to me. By the way, market cap's bigger than Teller's, right? And Teller only has about 1.6 mil supply. I'm looking at API 3 right now, 20 million circulating, 100 million total. The risk reward to me is not worth it. We can easily see this. And I'd probably be surprised if it didn't. We can easily see this go back to $1. I mean, Coach, you can look at the chart. I mean, to me, it's extremely risky getting it right now.
It could go either way. It's new. That's the problem.
It's new. It could. But I'm not. Again. If I'm a few projects, I would go in heavy right now. As I said, DIA under 1.5, and again, DIA was a steal for people who got in around that 1.3, $1.30 level.
I would buy DIA. I'd buy DIA.
Again, the DI, and right now, by the way, talking about Polkadot just has this thing going around where they're not just working with one oracle, but Polkadot chose DIA and Band as a part of, like, I forget the terminology they use, as part of like their oracle ecosystem. DIA, you're gonna see DIA getting a lot more notoriety, and it's also one of the newer ones, right? What did they call it? The Swiss chain link, right?
Yeah, but you also have to realize with DIA, like with DIA, they have an airdrop coming up because the whole KuCoin hack. They did the right thing and didn't just go non-decentralized and give it and then reissue all the tokens. They actually were like, all right, this happened. They're giving an airdrop of 10% APY. They opened up like extra staking and savings on Binance. They just like been doing every single thing they could do, and now they're having a 9 million token burn. 9 million of their tokens are going to get burned at the end of this month, I believe. They're voting on it right now, so 9.5 million tokens are getting burned. So I mean, there's a lot of bullishness in terms of other things with the tokenomics that are coming up. So yeah, I really like this team. I've talked to this team quite a few times, and I really think that they're on the ball, and they're very, very keen on pushing this project and making it something big, not just talking about it. They're actually putting actions to their words. So okay, I really like them.
Coach K, I want to stop here because this is exactly what Crypto Banter is all about. This is what we want. We want you guys to call in, bring the banter. Let's talk crypto. Let's discuss good projects, bad projects. If you're listening, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button now, because that's how we're going to get this content to more people who want this type of content. If you don't want to call in, even though you can call in and remain completely anonymous, give us comments in the YouTube. We are going to bring them in as we go along. We had YFDAI earlier in the show. We spoke to the guys from YFDAI. Certainly does look like a good project at a good market cap. I'm bringing in Altcoin Sherpa. Altcoin Sherpa, you're now in the conversation with us live on Crypto Banter. We're talking about coins that we would all buy right now. Altcoin Sherpa, looking forward to your first call. What are you looking to buy in this dip?
Hey guys, thanks for having me. Nice to meet you guys. I am looking mainly for the new coins because I believe that they are going to be hitting price discovery much easier than some of the older OG coins. So basically anything on listed on Binance or any of the centralized exchanges, those are kind of the coins that I'm looking for. And you can kind of see there them doing very well. Unfi, Alpha, Rose, all those coins right now are doing very well. And I expect
Rose, we got another big believer in Rose.
Yeah. No, I'm actually a TA person. I have no idea what Rose does, to be frank and honest with you.
I saw Andreessen Horowitz, and I went all in on Rose. I'm not even lying. That's all I need to know.
Yeah.
If you see who the investors were, you look at Salesforce, you look at Winklevoss, you look at A16Z, and you say, "Oh my God, how is this not $1 billion market cap?" And
they took a long time to come to market too, man. A long time, like 2 years.
That's good. They did it properly.
Yeah.
So I was an early investor in Oasis Labs, which launched the Rose token. Know the team pretty well. Have been with Dawn Song many times. Interviewed her on my previous show. We are going to get her on this show as well. Those guys have really done it properly. That's an American project following American regulations, really doing it properly. Yep. They launched their mainnet. They tested their mainnet. They launched the token. The pre-sale price was around 2 cents or maybe 3, I think 2 or 3 cents. It went up to 6 cents. It went back down to 4. Yesterday, it hit back at 6 cents. Altcoin Sherpa, if you are a chartist, perhaps share your screen. Show us what you're looking at when it comes to Rose.
Absolutely. One sec. Would it be okay if I actually shared? I prepared this. I wanted to talk to you guys about the altcoin market cycles and why I think that altcoins are going to do very well in the coming weeks. Is that okay?
Amazing. We also know that altcoins are always do better around December. Mr. Biz and Coach K, I'm going to keep you here because I'm loving this banter, and I really want to talk about individual projects because I think that that's the value that our traders and community are getting here. All right, so talk to us about why it's time to buy altcoins, and I hope you're right because a lot of my bag is right now in altcoins.
Okay, so across the last 3 years, you can basically see that the altcoin market cap the altcoin market cycles have been very cyclical. And this chart right here is the Bitcoin dominance chart. Bitcoin dominance is basically the total market share that Bitcoin has relative to the rest of the crypto market. So, if the crypto market, I think the other last I saw a few days ago was like 570 billion or something like that. And Bitcoin dominance is at 61%, which is about where it's at, 62%. Then the Bitcoin market cap is around 350 billion or so. So this is basically the total share of Bitcoin that Bitcoin has comprising of the total crypto market cap. So personally, I like to use this chart on a macro sense because this chart and altcoins have an inverse relationship, meaning that when Bitcoin dominance goes down, altcoin, meaning altcoin BTC pairs go up. So what you really want to see as an altcoin trader is you really want to see this Bitcoin dominance chart go down, because that means that altcoins are gaining value and the alt BTC pairs are really going up. As you can see right here in these purple boxes, I marked these purple boxes. This was in October, November, generally. The last few years, we've seen Bitcoin dominance going up, meaning that altcoins are dying off, alt BTC pairs, that is. And this happened in 2017. This was obviously the big run up to 20K. In 2018, again, from October to November, or I'm sorry, November to December in 2018.
I remember all of these. 2017, October, November is when Bitcoin went up. December, the altcoins went crazy. The same thing happened in 18. It looks like from your graph, the same thing happened in 19.
Absolutely. So from November to December last year, we saw altcoins dying off, alt BTC pairs. And the yellow boxes are basically, quote unquote, huge alt pumps. This was 2017, the greatest alt season of all time. The market's obviously much different than now. Again, in 2018, we saw alt BTC pairs do very well at the end of, mid-December. And once again, in mid-late December in 2019, you saw Bitcoin dominance go down as well. So what I'm basically charting here is I am looking at these market cycles where it's very, very predictable, at least the last 3 years. It's a small sample, of course, where you see altcoins dying off from November to December. So right now is a good time to accumulate. Bitcoin dominance going down from mid-December to January, to mid-late January. And that's a great time to trade alt BTC pairs. Then you see a cooling off period. You see Bitcoin dominance rising up from usually January to February, usually about a month or so. And that's, again, a good time to reload your bags. And once again, you have the springtime pumps in March where Bitcoin dominance goes down. I was actually very incorrect in 2020 because I thought that in the summer, as you can see, every single summer during these times, you can see that Bitcoin dominance rises heavily. And any altcoin trader basically remembers these times as being very painful experiences with alt BTC pairs, just because Bitcoin has wrecked alt BTC pairs. I expect that again in 2020, but decentralized finance changed all that. We got that a little bit from September and October.
So DeFi started the run. In fact, if you remember, I think it was YFI that actually started the whole bull run. People FOMO'd and aped into DeFi, and then that started the whole Bitcoin run. And we are where we are today. I don't know if one is a function of the other or caused by another, but we are where we are today. All right. So with this chart in mind, what are you telling us to do right now?
Right now, I would personally look to accumulate altcoins. I marked this purple box right now because I wasn't quite sure where we are in terms of where the Bitcoin dominance cycle is. I marked Bitcoin dominance as going higher because I'm personally not quite sure what to expect in regards to Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin's at a very interesting level, near all-time high levels. You can see altcoins pumping right now, but you can also see that this isn't a full-blown alt season, alt pump, whatever you want to call it, quite yet, just because there's a lot of uncertainty and fear in the market.
I think there is no alt season. I think there is no alt season this year. I think there's quality season. And I think there's DeFi season.
Sure.
If I look at all the other alts, Tezos hasn't said anything about DeFi, and therefore Tezos hasn't moved. Tezos is around $2 the last time I looked. Same thing with EOS. EOS hasn't opened their mouth, so it's not really an alt season. It's, in my mind, it's a DeFi season or a quality season.
Absolutely. I believe that narratives drive these altcoin pumps, and you basically have to find whatever narrative is pumping through altcoins. And I'm not sure what's going to happen for this next cycle. It could be Polkadot, it could be DeFi, it could be NFTs, it could be oracles, it could be decentralized dexes or exchanges. I'm not exactly sure, but as far as the cycle goes right now, I wouldn't be surprised, if Bitcoin, went to 25,000. I also wouldn't be surprised if it went lower to 14,000. So that's why I thought that Bitcoin dominance still could potentially rise up. And during this time, I'm basically waiting for one last violent move in whichever direction happens to continue accumulating. And at that point, I will look for altcoins to probably pump on a market-wide scale at that point.
All right, so we are calling an altcoin run or a DeFi coin run. Anything else that you want to show us on your screen, or can we get back to bantering about the actual calls? Our trader community love actual calls. We ran a poll. We actually ran a poll now on our Telegram. Which one of the following would you pick? Cardano, Polkadot, and Chainlink. Who do you guys think won the poll?
Dot.
Mr. Biz, who do you think won the poll? Cardano, Polkadot, or Chainlink?
Probably Link, actually. Link is a
bigger
Link. I think Chainlink. I think Chainlink wins.
47% of people said they would buy Polkadot now. 40% said they'd buy Chainlink, and 30% said Cardano. This is
all
important.
Right. You got smart callers.
Damn.
Yeah,
that's right.
All righty. Okay, so let's look at this. This is the DOT chart. Whoa.
Yeah. So basically, you guys already talked a lot about DOT, and Coach K was talking about the cup and handle. I could definitely see that as well. I basically just wanted to really emphasize the new coins because, as you can see, coins like DOT, and you guys talked about it before, how we couldn't see the entire price history because of the coin swap or whatever happened. You can't see the previous chart, but coins like Solana, DOT, those basically led the last season, or some of the coins that led. And the reason, partially in my opinion, is just because there is no price history to the left. These are all new coins, and nobody really knows the true quote unquote value of these coins. So that's really why I emphasize looking at some of these new coins like Rose and Unfi and Alpha and all these other types of coins. And when you are looking at coins and price history, who are doing price history, I like to use a Fibonacci extension. It gives you actually very accurate levels in terms of what could potentially come for your levels. As you can see, I did a Fib extension here for Unfi, and these levels actually have been pretty spot on in terms of SR levels.
So what are you saying? Unfi is a buy according to the charts now at this price?
Right now, I'm not sure. I mean, this could potentially be a double top. We don't quite know yet, but I mean, something like this is still extremely bullish in my opinion. You are seeing some warning signs in terms of the high sell volume right here, but I guess the point is to look for coins that are newly listed on Binance that haven't pumped nearly as much as Unfi. Basically anything that's launched on Binance is something I would basically look at for the next season in December.
All right, so let's talk about specific calls for our community. Would you be buying Rose right now?
Personally, right now, yeah, Rose looks fine to me. Again, it's kind of the same thing. You could see potentially a double top on lower time frame charts, but yeah, I mean, I don't think it's necessarily a bad trade. I would personally kind of probably look for coins that haven't had such such large movements, maybe some of the newer ones, but I'm gonna have to go take a look at some of the other coins that Binance listed. I think they even listed something new recently, but
yeah. All right, Mr. Biz, our community is going crazy. They want some more calls from Mr. Biz, Mr. Biz, Mr. Biz. You've obviously got a big following, and they're obviously all on the YouTube chat and all on the Telegram chat. All right, so what else are we looking at, guys? What else are we looking to buy? What are the price levels we're looking to buy them at?
If we're talking about, I know a lot of my followers look at low caps, and I've been a big guy on XDAI stake, which is extremely volatile. It actually went to $40 in the summertime. They've got narratives coming up. There is a Reddit competition for an Ethereum scaling solution, and the two finalists, I guess the worst kept secret is it'll probably be XDAI or Matic. During the summertime, people said if XDAI wins, it's going to go to $100, right? And again, narratives pump things. I mean, as we speak right now, by the way, RSR just pumped 10% because there's more PayPal rumors going on, right? Anytime we talk about PayPal, our RSR comes up. But XDAI stakes, when I'm looking at, I actually told my followers about a few weeks ago that when it actually dropped to six below 7, I said this is ridiculous. Load up on it. And I think it just went to 14 recently. I'd be looking at XDAI stake, $10 and lower. I think it's an easy pick. It's got the respect of the community. I know they're doing things with Chainlink and Ocean. I think Ocean said they might even leverage XDAI. So that's one of them.
Full disclosure, I was in the group when he was like, "Yo, it was like $2, I believe," and he was like, "You guys got to get
right."
This
So $2, yeah. That was last.
I was there.
Right?
I seen that live.
And again, looking at tokenomics, you gotta look at tokenomics. You gotta look at market cap. You have to look at what they're presenting. To me, it was an easy call around $2, right? And I think it was 50 cents. Went to $4 within a week. Then it dumped to $2. Then everybody said, "Oh no, this is a P&D." I got in at $2, rode it all the way up in the summertime to 40. Told people to take your profits on the way up. Some people didn't listen, and then it crashed all the way back down to like 8, right? Yeah. Because there's a so low supply. I think right now, if you can get under 10, guys, look at XDAI. When it pumps, it's gonna pump big. It's done a 2x in a day. I've held it. When it's done a 2x, there's not a lot of coins. There's not a lot of legitimate coins that can do that. Look into XDAI.
Yeah.
All right. People are asking us, what about Ocean Protocol?
Love it.
Ocean is great too, and I mean, Ocean is great. I think it went to 50 cents right now. I think under 40 cents, not a bad buy. Personally, again, and a lot of my friends have Ocean. It had a really good hype cycle. I think Ocean's gonna need a little bit more to get that next leg up, right? And I think everybody knows about the Ocean's partnerships, what it's done. It's gonna need a lot more than some of these newer coins to get that next pump to where do people want to see it go? People want to see it to go to $1, right? Yeah. $1. That's the next psychological level because it hit 50 cents. So can I think Ocean can go to $1? Absolutely. Are there other better investments? Perhaps there are.
All right. So
if I'm being honest, I'm
going to bring in Adrian Bashlik. Altcoin Sherpa, yes. I'm going to let you go to make some space for Adrian Bashlik in our studio. Altcoin Sherpa, thank you so much for coming on the show. Adrian, the reason why I'm bringing you in here is because this is all about sentiment. These guys are trading sentiment. They're trading charts. They're not trading just the fundamentals. I guess that's a good time to look and see what's happening on the social media circles. What are people speaking about in the social media circles? Let's see if we can reconcile that back to what Mr. Biz and Coach Crypto are actually buying.
Yeah, I think we've always taken a look at Lunar Crush on the socials. If you've been watching these episodes, great sentiment indicator. This was yesterday. They were looking at Theta Token, Easy, NOIA. These are things we talked about yesterday on the show, for example. And you see some of these, big gainers that have already had a run. If you're looking at trading, these might be overheated already, but you can see some of these cross sentiment analyses. Ensure, Hard Protocol, Unify Protocol, which has been discussed today, had a big run, but you can see a double top kind of forming. Hedge It, Axie Infinity, AXS. Those are just some of the names going on today.
Yep, Axie was mentioned, and again, I'm a big Lunar Crush believer. I'm a big believer in Lunar Crush. The way they do their metrics in terms of engagement and social activity. Can you actually correlate social activity to price movement? And they've proven you can. Right, the coins that get talked about, and again, it all starts on Twitter. Right, all these coins that you see trending. So what's the cycle? You see it on Twitter, then you'll see it probably trending on CoinGecko. The lunar crush shows that, hey, the volume increased by X%, and that led to the price increasing by X%. Why is Axie Infinity pumping? Because BitLord came out yesterday, and he's one of the biggest influencers, and he said that it's going to go to, what did he say, $5, right? And again, obviously we throw out these numbers, $5, and we will be happy if it goes to $2-3. But if you know crypto BitLord, he called Kusama at around $3, and Kusama went to 65 recently. And so when you make a call like that, you have a lot of clout. So Axie Infinity is pumping based I would say, solely on the fact that crypto BitLord came out and publicly vouched for it. How long is that going to last? I honestly don't know how long that's going to last.
I have to ask you a question here. We're talking about coins pumping on hype. And that reminds me too much of 2017. I remember in 2017, people had the hyperability index. People said ICOs would pump based on the number of Telegram people that they had in their groups. I mean, are we not getting into dangerous territory again? If you're telling me that all these coins are running because influencers pick them because they're pumping on Lunar Crash, are we not getting into hot territory again?
No,
we are, but yes, also then you have to look at some of these technical foundations and some of these groundbreaking technical projects. Look at NOIA. I mean, this is a project that is
amazing project.
Picking up nodes from around the world. Their tech is real, deliverable. Partnering with Microsoft Azure, we've met the team and the actual devs. We checked out under the hood. This is groundbreaking technology. So we're looking at it, covering it from a social sentiment standpoint and and the actual technology.
Okay, so let's talk about NOIA. Why are you guys so bullish on NOIA? Why is Twitter all of a sudden so bullish on NOIA? Mr. Biz, why is it?
The Microsoft connections, and honestly, I had a chance to interview NOIA for Spectre AMA. These guys are smart, man. These guys are smart, and I'm gonna tell you something, man. They got a little bit of that arrogance in them. That when they talk like they're gonna take over the world. I don't know how many people say it. If you've seen them speak, they speak eloquently. They're intelligent. They know about the entire industry. They see them a lot of times. When you project confidence, people see that. They speak. I don't want to say extremes, but they know that they're gonna take over this space, right? Or they say they are. And I think when people see that and they see, well, it's not that the market caps, it's not a low cap, but for what they say they're gonna do, the sky's the limit. So I think so. When you said about hype, yes, absolutely, things are getting hyped. But a lot of these projects like NOIA, it's got the technicals to back it up. So it's got the team to back it up, and it's got the experience. It's got the experience to back it up.
All right. So, and on that note, on that note, for example, we're gonna feature some of these that are being talked about, but we're gonna look under the hood and we're gonna provide some resources to check out things. Obviously, we've been talking a lot about DOT today, and the Polkadot ecosystem. If you look at Polls, for example, it's their ecosystem that are incubating all these Polkadot projects. Things like Dia, Moonbeam Network, Shift Network.
The best marketing right now is Polls, hands down. The best from launch to right now. What they've done with their partnerships, what they've done with the partnerships, what they've done with the news, constantly updating people. Think about this, guys. They had an unlock, and the price went up. I've never seen that. I've never seen when a project has a token unlock, and then the price actually goes up. Because what do you expect? You expect a dump, right?
You expect more tokens in the market, and therefore you obviously expect a dump.
Right, and they've got an MVP, and they've been hyping it for. They have an MVP coming up this month, and again they still have to launch a product. But what they're doing, again, you look at these projects that have a niche, right? They're doing fundraising, right? Who else is doing something like that? Nobody, right? So they're saying we're gonna help projects. We're gonna do fundraising. We're gonna do these anti-scam features, the partnerships with Dia or Orion, Covalent, and so they're a new project. Look out for them, guys, because I've said this, they're gonna go to $1 easily. I mean, it's no doubt in my mind they're gonna go to $1 easily. So when they first came out, I got them around I think 20 cents, maybe even less than 20 cents, and it's been ranging, right? So that's a project, guys. If you see Polkastarter, get the dips because I think the ups there's a far greater upside coming up.
And then lastly, let's revisit Bondly because we talked about it yesterday. There's been a lot of hype about it.
We have them on our show tomorrow, which is great.
Yeah, exactly. And this is essentially bringing, trustless payments between users. A caution to the wind because it launched yesterday, and there were 4 or 5 phishing scams on Uniswap. So anyone looking at it, there was a lot of talk about it across Twitter. And these are the sorts of things where we want to bring the community together and identify, solid technical projects. Yes, socially sentiment talked about, but be sure in what you're getting into. DuckDAO Incubator, for example, they're occupying this Polkadot ecosystem. Interesting social group to watch as well. Essentially, Bondly is they're creating a decentralized DeFi VC. And Bondly, one of the top projects that just launched yesterday.
And really quick, we want to talk about narratives. So DuckDAO, the Foundry Firm Network, hit a home run with Bondly. Guys, whatever they come up with next, it's probably going to do well, right? They're 1 for 1. They're 1 for 1. They got the benefit of the doubt. I mean, again, the guys, you have to look at what in investor psychology. They're going to say, "Oh my God, I missed out on Bondly." Not only is this good for the next project, but guess what? Look at Firm Network. Firm Network's been holding up, and I've been telling people, you get 100K Firm, you can get pre-sale allocation. People are going to start listening now.
Did you notice that it doubled? It doubled since they actually did Bondly, like before.
Yes, it did. It did. It was $3,000. I remember this. It was $3,000 to get 100K Bondly. It's over. It's maybe $5,500 to get 100K now. And again, this is stuff when you look at trends. If they start this trend where these projects that Foundry and Firm Network start being successful, people are going to start buying Firm as well. It's a win-win for them.
All right, guys, I've had an amazing time bantering with you guys. This is what Crypto Banter is all about. It's about crypto enthusiasts from around the world coming to one place to banter. If you guys have enjoyed the segment, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button now. That gives us more likes and more subscribes and puts us higher up in the Bitcoin algorithm. I'm going to say goodbye to Adrian Bashuk, to Coach K, and to Mr. Biz. Thank you, guys. It's been absolutely amazing having you on our show. The next segment is a very special segment. It's a secret segment. We've been talking about it all day. And what we're going to be talking about is privacy on the blockchain. Typically, when you talk about the blockchain to non-believers or to people who know a little bit about blockchain, the first thing they say is, well, you shouldn't use crypto because crypto is all about criminal activity. What they don't know is that every single payment and every single transaction is tracked. But what about our right to privacy? Do we need privacy? And if you look at the privacy coins, which I called up today, I called up Monero and I called up Zcash. And if you look at both Monero and Zcash, yes, they have had a run, but nothing like the Bitcoins and Ethereum. And I guess the question then is there an appetite for privacy, and do we need privacy on the blockchain? And to speak about that, I've got a friend, someone who I've known for a while, someone who we've worked on some projects together. Tor, welcome to Crypto Banter.
What's up, man? It's good to talk to you again.
It's great to see you, my friend. It's great to see you. Let's talk about this whole need for privacy on the blockchain. Most people think that blockchains are for criminal activity. Our retort is always that you can see every transaction and you can track the money from one place to another. In fact, I saw about a week ago or 2 weeks ago that the people that hacked Bitfinex in 2016 moved the coins. And as they did that, all the alarm bells went off and WhatsApps went around. They said, the Bitfinex coins have moved. And that could never happen with cash. And that's why the blockchain is so powerful, because it's transparent and everybody can see it. Why do we need privacy?
Yeah, it's an excellent question, because normally when we hear about privacy in the news, or when we hear about privacy, it always comes with this undertone of like, this is something you do in the shadows. This is something you do with your hood up. This is something that you don't want anybody anywhere to know about. And the reality is that like privacy is not about hiding everything that you do. It's about giving users choice about what they do. And the problem is, to this point in the blockchain space, there hasn't been any choice for users. Your only choice is to make everything public by default. And that goes for things that you would have no problem being public in the first place. And it goes for things that are probably sensitive transactions, because you're just trying to protect yourself. These are massive security risks. If everybody knew, like, the easiest way to think about it is to think about the way the real world works. You don't constantly go tweeting your bank account statements to the entire world. You don't tell everybody when you send a friend money, when you buy a coffee, when you pay rent. Like, these are things that are only supposed to be private, you know, to certain individuals. Obviously, you want your landlord to know you pay rent, but you didn't want every single person in the world to. So when we're talking about privacy, what we're really talking about is, can we create choice for users in the crypto space that they haven't had up to this point? And I have a special guest as well.
Let's talk about privacy and creating choice. One of the things that we like about blockchain is that it's transparent, and you can see every transaction, and you can see where it came from and where it went. That's one of the advantages, actually, of blockchain. That's what we like about it. It's a completely immutable ledger which everyone can see. When you look at coins like Zcash and Monero, for example, you can see that there have been transactions, but you have no idea where the transactions came from and where they're going to. And then what you do know is that sometimes you can tell that, you know, X amount went from somewhere to somewhere, but nothing else. And sometimes you actually know nothing about the transaction.
Sure.
What are you saying? Are you saying that we should hide the amounts, that we should hide the accounts that it came from? What's the mix?
Yeah, what you're describing, what most people think of as privacy in the crypto space, is transactional privacy. And traditionally, transactional privacy is, we're going to hide the sender, we're going to hide the receiver, we're going to hide the amount. Like, maybe you know the total amount of coins in existence, right? You wouldn't want to use a currency where you couldn't see the total supply. That would be scary, thinking that, like, somehow, like, this would be tradable somewhere, but you also couldn't see the inflation schedule or something like that. Like, I don't think transactional coins should be used like that, right? The transactional privacy coins should not be totally private in that way. What I'm describing, I think, is something that we call, with secret network, programmable privacy. The idea that you can pick and choose which elements of applications or tokens on the network are private and which portions are public. So you can have coins, like, you can issue tokens on secret network, for example, that have all of those properties of Zcash shielded transactions, where, you know, the sender is not necessarily known, the recipient is not necessarily known, the amount is not necessarily known. You can tell that somebody interacted with the token in some way, but that's about it. To me, I think that's a healthy balance, but not everybody will agree. Somebody might actually want more privacy. Somebody might want less. Again, it's coming back to what I'm saying around choice. The problem with most of these transactional privacy coins is they're just not flexible. They have to be the same thing for everyone. And when we set out to build a platform where you can choose the extent to which certain elements of the platform are private, and to what extent the application you're building is public, and giving that choice to the developer and the user.
What are regulators saying? So we know that one of the things that regulators like about Bitcoin and Ethereum, providing that everybody KYCs and that they start building a database of all the wallets, they like Bitcoin and Ethereum because they are transparent. If you introduce a chain, which I'm sure we're going to talk about secret chain, and we're going to talk about the origins, but if you introduce a chain that is non-private, surely you've got the regulators, the Democrats, all sitting there going, hold on, we need to know exactly what's happening with everyone's money all the time. We need to know every single transaction. Doesn't this scare legislators?
I think that historically governments are nervous about privacy to the extent that they don't like not being able to know everything about everyone else. But it's a little bit hypocritical, because obviously governments and regulators really like their own privacy. So it's a bit weird when they try to make it a matter of principle, but clearly the same principles that they want to extend to the entire citizenship, they don't extend to themselves. I think more along the lines of corporations, like corporations.
That's called government. That's called government.
I've met a few now.
Government and yeah, you've met a few now.
Yeah. Okay. So I want to think about it actually from the corporate side, because if you're a corporation, right, like, say you're Google, you want to know everything about your users because your product is how you monetize your users to the advertisers, right? But if you are that same company, you care about the privacy of your own data. You don't want your competitors to know about your data. So corporations also have a very weird relationship with privacy. No privacy for the user, but total privacy for what the corporations are doing. So when you say, like, regulators and corporations and such are like anti-privacy or scared of privacy, maybe for the users, maybe for the citizens, but certainly not for themselves. They definitely appreciate the value of privacy. And if we're users of blockchain technologies, we should also be appreciating privacy, knowing that if we don't, somebody else is going to take it from us while preserving it for themselves.
Well, I guess if you look at a supermarket chain, they don't really want to know they don't want everybody to know where they buy their apples from and how much they pay for their apples and how frequently they're paying. That's all kind of trade secrets, and that you can really apply to every industry. Now, I guess where we're going with this is that chains like Bitcoin and Ethereum, or specifically Ethereum, don't cater for them. So Ethereum is a completely transparent network. There's zero privacy except for the fact that it's one address interacting with another address. You guys came to solve this problem.
Yes. So the way that I think about it is you're talking about the difference between public by default and private by default in the blockchain space. So we think about Ethereum versus what we're trying to do only because they're both smart contract platforms. And before I say any of this, I want to say how much I like Ethereum and how incredible of a technical marvel it actually is. So none of this is to like say that Ethereum is not a good solution. What I am saying though is that it can be improved in a number of ways. So public by default means, as you're saying, everything on the blockchain is public to everybody, and that's the way that it was designed. Almost every single blockchain in the world is designed this way. That's how blockchains work. And as you said, that's what a lot of people might like about them. The analogy that I use, though, is like, think about toothpaste in a tube. If you squeeze out all of the toothpaste onto the bathroom counter and you're looking at all that toothpaste, and now you're like, well, actually, I want to put some of that back in the tube. It's a very expensive proposition to put that toothpaste back where it came from and now make it, in this analogy, make it private again. Whereas if all the toothpaste starts in the tube and you squeeze it out when you need it and only in the circumstance, hopefully it's brushing your teeth, right? But like you only take it when you need it, that is more of the privacy by default approach. And it's a lot less expensive because making something public that starts private is okay. But making something private that starts public is almost impossible. So our approach with Secret Network has been we build for privacy by design, and then we allow users and developers to choose under what circumstances, access control can be shared or certain data should be public. It's just, I think, beyond just the human-centric ethos of privacy that we're talking about, it's just a better technological design.
Okay, but then do we still have that benefit of blockchain technology where we can see where the transactions went? So again, like I said, one of the benefits is that with Bitcoin, I can see where all the coins are. I can see where they've gone. I can see which wallets are holding them. I can see how long they're being held there. I can judge based on that, what they're being held for. You're saying, are we saying by design, we're abandoning that? And if people want to share it, they can share it?
I would say that what you're describing as like the good thing about blockchain is not necessarily what I would say the good thing about blockchain is. The good thing that I think about blockchain technologies and Bitcoin and Ethereum in particular is their permissionless nature. That if I want to hold my own coins in self-custody, that if I want to interact with the network, that if I want to deploy an application on Ethereum, it's permissionless. You can't really stop me from doing that. It's that level of empowerment. Now, the fact that there's also a large degree of transparency, I'm not positive that that is like the ultimate good of blockchain technology. And if you're looking at finding global adoption for blockchain technology, if we want enterprises and government, like all the things that you see projects randomly announcing partnerships for, right? Are they really going to use public blockchains if all the data is public? By and large, literally no enterprise is using a public blockchain and then like also putting sensitive data on it. It's not a use case that's supported right now by blockchains. So if we're simultaneously saying blockchains are the future of the world and they're going to be used by everybody, and then also saying, but what we like about them is that they're transparent for all data, then I think people are going to be in for a very rude awakening when they realize that some of the use cases that they're describing for blockchain will never be implemented on a public chain. They'll all be done with like private implementations of blockchain.
Yeah, I guess when you start talking about a decentralized Uber, we really don't want people to know where people are being picked up from, how far they're driving, who's the car picking it up. And I guess when we get into a world like that of smart contracts, you have to have some kind of privacy to try and protect yourself. And that doesn't, that's the consumer element. There's also the big business element. Now, let's go 100 steps back. You guys are the smartest teams, and one of the smartest teams I've ever come across. I was an investor in I think I was an investor in your ICO or in your token sale when it came to Enigma, which was the original protocol, and that was a layer 2 privacy around Ethereum, a layer 2 around Ethereum, which allowed for private transactions. Then what happened? So now that's gone, and there's a new protocol, and that protocol is called Secret.
Yes. So Enigma was the company that I used to work for. I started at Enigma in June of 2017, and it was some of my MIT classmates. We started working on they were working on it before I joined a year or two in, and was working on this, as you said, layer 2 to Ethereum implementation of private smart contracts, our private computation solution. And over the intervening years, I mean, these are really complicated technologies to implement, and we ran into a number of technical hurdles along the way, including this transition from Ethereum 1 to Ethereum 2. That was a massive hurdle that we saw coming down the line, and we also had some issues with like the peer-to-peer layer of the private compute protocol. So Secret Network sprung out of this the same concepts that powered Enigma, the same vision for private computation, for private smart contracts, but instead of doing it as an L2, it's actually a layer 1. It's based on the Tendermint SDK, like Cosmos, like Kava, like some of these other protocols. So it's one of the most popular consensus algorithms in the world. And we built a Secret Network on Tendermint SDK. It was actually the first Tendermint chain to support smart contracts of any kind. And ours are private by default, right? You use encrypted inputs, you use encrypted outputs. The smart contracts have encrypted state. And that has been live on mainnet since September of this year, after what I can only describe as an incredibly long and complicated journey. I'm sure we could talk for hours about the details of how we got from there to here, but there were a number of hurdles along the way and complications that forced us to make.
Very big hurdle in the form of the US government, but I guess you guys went over that hurdle quite smartly. So you launched the mainnet in September. Are people actually using this? So, I mean, it took Ethereum a long time to get any kind of traction, to get projects building on the mainnet. Are people using it? Do you have plans to create an ecosystem? Do you have plans to fund to help people building on the network? Because ultimately, it's not really about technology. It's about community. Right. It's about whether people are building.
Yes. So all of that is absolutely true, and there's nothing I care more about than global adoption of this stuff. Like privacy, especially, like it's great as a principle, but none of this matters unless it's actually being used in the wild. So we've had, as a community, as an ecosystem, sort of this go-to-market idea of how do we educate people about privacy and private smart contracts, get usage for them, and then start scaling down the line into like more enterprise level of adoption of our solutions. And I think a project like Chainlink actually took a very similar approach, where they knew that the Oracle problem was an extremely difficult problem. They built an initial solution. Their solution is now like being improved incrementally. They've integrated with a lot of projects and ecosystems that are mostly focused on blockchain use cases and DeFi, for example. But now, you also see the relevance to Oracle's in enterprise implementations and things like that. So private computation is sort of the same way. It's another extremely critical layer to Web3. People don't start to understand it until they see it working in applications that they use on a day-to-day basis. So some of our initial go-to-market has everything to do with how do we show how private smart contracts can work in DeFi? How do we show how they work with NFTs? How do we show that they work with access control on all of these like Web3 content monetization platforms? And when people start to see that, it's a lot easier for us to then go and really onboard the next wave of growth into the public blockchain space.
All right, so we are running out of time because we are limited in time by our show, but are there any practical applications today that our users can go and see to see the application of this, to experience it for themselves? Is there someone that's built an Uber using Secret? Or even better, a Tinder?
I know, right? What if somebody tells you that like Web3 protocols are ready for like something at the same scale of like a decentralized Uber and Tinder for millions of users? We've only been live on mainnet for 2 or 3 months. It takes a while for these protocols to scale to that point. Even Ethereum hasn't scaled to that point. Bitcoin barely supports the use case that it describes for itself, or that the community describes for it of digital gold. So if people want to interact with Secret today and get started with it, I think our killer application is Secret tokens. So these are like ERC20s that live on Ethereum, right? That you can send around, that were really the fuel for the ICO boom as we remember it in 2017. But Secret tokens are programmable with privacy by design. So not only do you have this programmable transfer of value like on Ethereum, they're also programmably private, meaning if you any token that you create on Secret Network can be like a little Monero or Zcash on its own. And you can issue your own. It can have its own minting schedule, inflation schedule. And we're also launching an AMM or a DEX on Secret Network where you'll be able to trade these tokens against each other. And we've launched this. We're going to be launching on December 14th an Ethereum bridge where we're going to support Ethereum and a number of ERC20 assets. You can turn them into Secret tokens and also trade those on the Secret AMM. So you'll be able I would think the first use case you'll be able to see is the use case that has dominated probably the last 6 to 12 months in the crypto space, which is DeFi. And then what you're going to see after that, I think it'll surprise you. But since we're out of time, maybe I'll tease that another day.
Well, we must get you back another day. Look, I must say, I'm really bullish on the secrecy market or the anonymity market. I really do understand it. I really do understand that we need to have our privacy and we need to have secrecy. We can't be transparent with all our transactions. I have followed your project. I was an investor in the original project. And so I have followed you guys, and I think that you guys are a great team. So if anybody does have a chance to do it, of course, I think it is you guys. Keep us updated. Let us know when you guys are launching. Let us know what's coming up. Let us know when. Keep the community updated. We'd love to hear it. And of course, when you have something to demo to us, where you can show our viewers why this is so important, let's do it. Tor, it's been an absolute pleasure, man.
See you, man. Thanks for having me. December 14th, the Ethereum bridge. We'll make a demo of it.
December 14th, put that date. Where can our viewers go on December 14th to have a look at it?
You can definitely get all of our news on our Twitter at Secret Network. Very simple. And if I have something to share, if there's something you want to get hands-on with, you'll hear it there first.
Amazing. So if you have been watching this, please hit the like and subscribe button. It's almost the end of the show. But we have one more caller into the show. His name is Nebula Matrix. I guess he's calling to talk about altcoins, what we should be buying. Nebula Matrix, welcome to the show. You're the last caller. We've got 3-4 minutes. What are you looking at? What are you buying? And what are you selling in this altcoin dip?
I'd like to talk about Safe Haven. What Safe Haven provides is the only solution to decentralized inheritance. And it's done by
decentralizing inheritance.
Yes, sir. Decentralized inheritance. There's no solution to it currently other than ours. And it's very important because, as you know, if someone has the private keys to your wallet, they can just basically load it onto, retrieve it, get all the crypto and NFTs and steal it. So it's very important to have a decentralized inheritance solution to where your private keys are protected whenever they're, being delivered to your heirs after death.
Okay, hold on. So let's say that I have a crypto wallet, and inside the crypto wallet or several wallets, and I have Bitcoin, I have Ethereum, I have some NFTs. And let's say that I want to leave this to my kids one day.
Yes, sir.
What is the process? I mean, I've never actually thought about that. I've always thought that somebody will take care of it. I guess I probably should think about it. What happens? What do I need to do to make sure that my crypto is safe and that my kids actually get their inheritance?
Okay, well, to show you really quick, these are the safe keys. Each one is needed per heir. And these keys store the fragmented shares. And I'm about to explain what that is. It's simply just a USB drive.
I just want to make it very clear to our viewers.
Yes, sir. I'm showing the share screen right now.
Yeah, this is not a paid segment. We don't allow paid segments on our show.
It's not. No, I didn't mean anything like that, sir.
Great. Okay, so let's go and see what it is, because I actually am pretty intrigued by how to create an inheritance out of my blockchain assets. I have a few left, and I have 3 kids. So
I'm trying to share the screen right now.
At the bottom, it says share screen. If you share your screen, I'm going to call it up. Okay, so now we're looking at your screen. Just pick what you want us to look at.
Okay, so this is the inherency webpage, and whenever you want to create a decentralized inheritance plan, you simply come here.
You create an inheritance plan. out of tokens that are actually in your wallet?
No, sir. No, sir. You're creating an inheritance plan on this platform by the use of SHA tokens. And it costs, here's the walkthrough. And it costs...
I'm intrigued by this. I thought you were calling to give us some altcoin calls. Let's have a look at that.
Yes, sir. I did. I had everything pulled up right here for you, all the different charts. I was going to do a charting on SHA and provide that. But
I'm more intrigued by the inheritance and how it works. So let's have a look at that.
Okay, so to get started, you basically come here, and if you don't have an account, you register one with Safe ID, and that's essentially just your login credentials to the inherency platform.
Okay.
So then I'm sorry, go ahead, sir.
Once I'm in, what do I do?
So once you're in, you come to right here, the create plan, your family circle plan. And then that will prompt you to this screen right here.
Okay, but I want to make sure we're talking about the same thing.
Yes,
Is
sir.
this a way for me to take my current crypto assets, my Bitcoin, my Ethereum, my Litecoin, my XRP, my XLM, my EOS, my DeFi tokens, and make sure that I can give them to my kids later? Is that what you're talking about, Joe?
Yes, sir. And the way that it's done is your children will inherit this inheritance plan that I'm showing you. And what you're going to do is you're going to input the private keys to your wallet right in this section, the plan description and the plan notes.
So I'm going to take my private keys and I'm going to input them on a third-party software.
Well,
that sounds...
No. It's not a third-party software. It's 100% decentralized, and it's done through these safe keys. Like, let me show you. How do we go back? Oh, yeah, Sean. So these are the safe keys that store the fragmented shares.
Okay. So I put the keys into the software.
Yes, sir.
And
so you put all the keys into the software. Let's say you have 3 heirs total. That would create a total of 6 shares because there's 2 fragmented shares per key. Those two shares would get put on each one. And then whenever, let's say, you unfortunately pass away, your kids would get together with the merging authority, which is essentially a lawyer that you sign up or that you set up through the TAN product that we have, Trust Alliance Network. And then the merging authority is in charge of making sure that your heirs plug in all the keys. Then once they plug in all the keys, the private keys to your crypto wallet is revealed, and then they can retrieve all the coins inside in NFTs, and then they distribute the said assets as per stated in the plan, and that's essentially what the lawyer's all for too, and that's why you want to make it.
I guess this is a much bigger discussion, and definitely a discussion that I want to have around crypto inheritance and how to manage your crypto inheritance. That's not going to be today, but I'm sure that our producers will reach out to you when we do have a segment like that. And we can talk about what people should do to plan around their crypto assets. I'm going to get my producers to give you a call behind the scenes. We'll take it from there. That is unfortunately all we have time for today. It's been a jam-packed show. I'm broken from all the banter that's happened today on CryptoBanter.com. I'll see you again, same time, same place. Guys, just a reminder that you guys are the best community in the world. You've doubled our distribution every single week since we launched, and I need you guys to do it again. And the only way you can do that is if you hit the like button and the subscribe button. So please, guys, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button. It tells other crypto enthusiasts that we're around, and it tells them that we're a good show, and that way the YouTube algorithm gives them much more distribution. That is all we have time for. I'll see you again, same time, same place tomorrow. Until then, if you're trading, trade well, my friends.
Crypto Banter is a social podcast for entertainment purposes only. All opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, and callers should not be construed as financial advice. Views expressed by guests and hosts do not reflect the views of the station. Listeners are encouraged to do their own research.